Manchester and London, those are... Were some of you there?
Yeah!
Oh, no, hang on. How were the shows in London and Manchester? Okay, so they liked it. Did you guys enjoy it?
No.
I was like, no. No, it's fantastic.
See, he's got my sense of humor.
Andy, did you have a good time?
Yes.
Good.
Thank God.
Man, a few words.
I'm just so tired right now.
Same.
Delirious, energy low. We've got one more thing to do. We've got to put your questions to Fall Out Boy over the next kind of 35, 40 minutes or so.
Yep.
It's nothing but you asking them questions, which is great. So, Leanne, are you in the building?
Surprise!
Leanne, wave! Make some noise for Leanne! It's great to see you, Leanne. Thanks for being here and thank you for submitting your question. The first question for Leanne is, what is your favourite country to play in and why?
And why is it the UK?
Okay.
It's a trap! My favorite country is the country you individually are from.
I had a lot of fun at the show yesterday. I don't know who was at the show yesterday. It was like very hot, and I feel like it was the closest we could come to time traveling back to the start of the
Yeah.
band.
It felt like it.
Did anyone feel Pete's sweat hit them in the face?
I almost hit the stage.
You don't like that? What, Pete's sweat, not your thing, Patrick?
Also a shot.
Would it be? Is that an odd opinion not to want to get sweated up?
I've been waiting 3 times to meet you guys across the 2 days. I've been waiting for the sweat to fall into my palm.
Fair enough.
One more time, maybe today, hopefully. So what, are we saying England then? We're saying UK is the best place to perform?
Yes.
For right now, yes. No, I really love playing everywhere because everywhere has a different vibe and a different feel, and people everywhere in the world are cool, and it's nice to experience everything everywhere all at once.
To tie into that with a real answer, because I think there is a real answer in there before the joke. But
I love the
yeah.
answer. It's great to experience everything you can everywhere you can.
Well, and the thing is that I feel like one thing that I really noticed in the pandemic and in the height of it, when you couldn't go anywhere, was you really every audience is different. There's like a audience culture in different countries, and it's like you start to miss that in the same way that you miss, like, you know, the food and the architecture and stuff. The audiences are different, and it was weird not to get to play here for a while. So happy to be back.
We love you.
You got a big R for that. That was cute. Leanne, are you happy with that? Good, excellent.
We're like a soundboard. It's just like...
I'm like a soundboard.
No, we are.
Oh, you are.
You
Yeah,
press
no,
the
you are
button.
like a soundboard. Yeah. Wait, fart. Yeah, nice. Do we have Yi Ming?
Who?
Yi Ming? Oh, I heard a woo at the back somewhere.
I feel like you better hand up.
Oh, wait, where? Oh, here at the back. Hi, Yi. Round of applause for Yi, everybody. Yi would like to know, what was the best part of coming back together to create this album?
Nothing.
No, I mean that's a tough. What's the best part? I mean, it was great. It was it was all great. Yay! No, it was. I mean, it was a special thing to get back in the studio with Neil Abron. That was something that I really wanted to do, and it took a lot of convincing because he didn't really want to do a record. But it was great. Just it was like no time had passed. He has this studio in Hollywood, and we all just sat around there and and had lunch together. He has this really nice little patio, and we would sit there and talk about the record and stuff. It was nice to have those like just normal kind of conversations about a record. There was no pressure. No one was like, where's the first single? It was just kind of like,
The last time we made a record with him, basically we would get in fights with each other, he would have to, at the end of the day, be like, it's all gonna be okay, you guys are gonna be fine. And so it was kind of like going back to your parents' house as an adult, and you're like, well, I don't have to sneak alcohol anymore, I could just drink in front of them.
There's something to be said for just being really relaxed in that environment when you're making an album, right? You can't really force those things at all. How do you make a relaxed environment? Do you get like some, what are those things? Those air steamers? You know what I mean? Some coloured lights.
Right. No, Neil's a very relaxed dude. It's funny because he speaks very softly, and he's very calm, and he's very calming, right? And so when you're working with him, he just asks these questions. He'll like drop these questions, and you know he's not. They're not like, you know, he's not being mean or anything, but they're like these massive questions, you know, where it's like, well, what, you know, what? Like I remember this one time, where the first time we worked with him, I had done this thing in a vocal run where I did like a just kind of like it was a little thing, a small thing. Yeah, but like I'm kind of falling off a note. And he's like, "What's that note?" And I'm like, "What note?" He's like, "That note in the middle. What note is that?" I'm like, "I don't know." You know, and he's like, "No, we have to have a plan. You don't get to like we have to know what that is. We have to record it, you know, several times. It has to be the same note every time." And it was it was such a small thing that blew my mind that I was like, you know, it's not just this intuitive thing. There's actually theory to it, and you have to like play with it. And so he
like was like talking to me one day, and he was like, "What are these songs about?" And then all of a sudden, I feel like he turned around and he was like this close to me, like this, like a enchanted forest creature, and he was like, "What are the songs about?" And I was like, "Oh my God, he's looking into my fucking soul right now."
No one really wants to have to answer big, deep questions when they're making an album, do they? Like, what's the meaning of life? I feel like he's got that one in him somewhere as well.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Billy, you're up
It's
next.
not very relaxing. I said it was relaxed, and then we described this terribly not relaxing.
Oh, I almost got sweat in my eye there from Pete. It's close. This is close. Billy, are you out there? Hi, Billy. Where are you? Wave, Billy. Hi, Billy. Billy would like to know, what's your favourite meal? That's a great question, Billy.
Mom's spaghetti.
Knees weak.
Patrick?
Sushi.
Pete?
I'm like the Joker, I'm a simple man, I like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, you know. But today I had a full English breakfast because I felt like when, but I don't even know what to do with half the stuff that shows up. I'm like, you're like, you want the pudding?
The black pudding?
He squeezes the stewed tomato out of
Looking at it, I don't know what any of it is.
They like put it on top of each other like a sandwich or something like that, yeah. Nice, okay, those are good answers. I like Mum's spaghetti, I'm with you on that one, Andy.
That's an M&M reference, of course.
Nice.
He's a musician.
Yeah, he's a musician.
Justin, make some noise, please. Justin's not here.
It's a quiet.
Yeah, okay. Justin, if they were here, they would like to know, what's your favourite thing about the UK? What British quirks do you find the most bizarre? Black pudding is weird. I will give us that. That is
Don't
weird.
diss black pudding.
No, I like it. I like black pudding. I'm just saying it's weird, you know.
I like the, we talked a little bit about it, but like the reserved, but like quiet panic, like I was talking to our friend Elliot, who's from over here. He, you guys might know him. He takes like photos and video. And we were talking about the idea of like I'm like not the sharpest tool in the shed. So realizing like this year that the Beatles.
Did you just quote Wheatus?
Is that Wheatus? I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
Smash Mouth. Yeah.
It's obviously what I meant.
We'll edit it in post.
Thank you.
It's almost like cooler to not know.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I've never even heard the song.
Who are they? Yeah.
I just realized this year that the Beatles the name was a pun, like the Beat-Ulls, right? Like it's not the Beatles, it's the beat, like beat. You know?
he's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
I only just realized it, and I was talking to Elliot, and he was like, "Oh, I've just realized that now that you said it to me." And he was just sitting there, and we were talking, and we were in front of other people, and I was like, "I thought you would be freaking out," and he was like, "Oh no, I'm fucking freaking out right now." He's like, "This is how we do it."
So this is actually a true story. One time we had to do this sketch for the Jimmy Kimmel show in the States, and it was a thing where we had to pretend to take someone's phone and smash it.
Oh,
That was the way it was. And it was kind of a sort of person on the street, but they were like, you know, they were asked to be in the sketch or whatever, but they didn't know that this was a thing. It was a secret switch of the phone, so you're not actually breaking their phone, but you throw a phone in. And then we run away, and that's the sketch, haha. And we did it like 5 times, 5 different people, and you know, they chase us down and whatever. And then there was this one person, and we take her phone, and we run away, and she stands there, and she just looks forlorn, but you know, she stood there, and we come up to her, you know, they're like, go talk to her, and we go talk to her, like, you didn't chase after us, you know, you weren't upset. She's like, I'm British.
Still trying to work out the Beatles thing.
The Beatles.
Does anyone else?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
You're too intellectual for me, Pete.
I promise you that's not true.
Okay. Jess, are you in the place? Where? Oh, where? Oh my God, she's all the way over there. Jess, hi. Hi, Jess. Jess would like to know, this is a great question, who are your biggest musical influences as a band? And maybe individually. No one? We just...
Well, no, I just figured we'd probably go down the line.
Okay.
It's not my responsibility to start. I'm in the middle.
Andy's his smash man.
Dave Lombardo from Slayer, Lars Ulrich, of course, from Metallica,
Nice.
Charlie Benante from Anthrax,
Okay.
and
And there's a rock star too.
Let's leave it there.
Yeah, I like a lot of music, so it's hard for me to pin down. So I would say that the most formative thing for me musically, besides my dad being a folk singer, was 1989's Batman. Because you had the Danny Elfman score and you had Prince, and I was like, that's it. That is everything. That is all I need. You know, so it all branches out from there.
And you're a Batman.
I was Batman. I was very briefly Batman.
Lego Batman.
Yeah, that's a parenthetical as well. You don't have to deal with that. I'm Batman.
No, it's I'm Batman.
I am Batman.
There he is. There he is.
But I mean, I'm also the you know, Will Arnett singing Batman. So you know, but I'll take it.
Pete?
Musically, maybe like Joy Division, probably. I'm mostly a visual person, so most of my influences are films, movies, as you may call them.
Yeah, what are some of those movies that you talk about? As you might do. What are these movies, Pete?
Movies to the layperson.
Why? What are you off of him, man?
Wait, I don't know. He just told me he thought I was smart. I'm trying to fucking live up to it.
That was a fucking compliment, Pete.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
So, any movies? Just
All the Twilights except for the one where they go to Brazil.
And Lego Batman. And Lego Batman. Guys. Thank you for your question, Jess.
You think you ask a question, you get a better seat. Jesus.
Yeah, no. Someone sort her out. Actually, I was going to ask, what about like new music and stuff? Do you guys like ear to the floor in that sense? And do you listen to a lot of new stuff?
I go through phases where there's like a whole bunch of years where I don't listen to anything new, and then I'll like dive in on things. So lately I've been listening to a lot of stuff.
So any new artists that?
Yeah, I really like this Zulu record. I really like.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah,
it's so good.
There's a new Incendiary song I like a lot. I really like this band MS Paint. I really like Always. I really like this band Krungbin.
Right. Yeah, that Zulu record is
fantastic.
Top notch. Yeah, definitely go and listen to that. Pete, you got any at all, Andy?
I like a bunch of the ones Patrick said. I like Games We Play too. A couple other ones, but that was a good list, Patrick.
Yeah, great list.
Lists.
Feel the jet lag slowly.
I can't think of anything right now. I've been trying to think
Sorry,
of
Andy.
something, but I'm
Edie, are you here? Edie, hi. Oh, I wasn't going to call you Eddie. Would have been 2 Ds. Edie says, would you ever perform at a fashion runway again, like you did with Taylor Swift?
It was great to perform at Taylor Swift. The fashion runway thing is really funny though, because I don't know if it reads from where you are. And I won't throw anybody else under the bus. I am very short.
It does. It
I
does
am a
read.
not particularly tall man. And we did the fashion thing, and the producer was like, yeah, really get in there and interact with the models, like get sassy. And I would, and so they'd be walking by, and I'm trying to, I was like, there's just no, it's like, and they're they have the heels and all the other stuff. I was like, this is not happening at all. I'm at like belly button level.
So the answer in short is you're never going back to a
I don't
catwalk.
know. I don't know if I'll ever get invited back unless they're trying to, unless they want, a bunch of hobbits.
Nice. Did you get to try any of the clothes on, or did you get to?
Obviously.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Hello, like Batman.
I'm the best man.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, sure. Connie, are you there?
No.
You guys could just. One person could just pretend. Yeah. Hi, Connie. Yeah, we're all Connie today. What is the process of producing a song? What is that like? What do you go through?
So is Connie actually here? I just want to clarify. Do you mean like of any kind of production? Like what does the job mean?
Yes.
No, I'm saying because that's a good question.
Well, I'll tell you what, why don't we go down both routes that maybe you're thinking?
Yeah, because I think there's obviously, what the process is of us making a song, but I feel like production is this amorphous job that a lot of people don't know, and so you don't know what it means, and you don't know what...
I often say the word on the radio, and I go, oh, the production on this is great, but I don't really know what I'm talking about. I just kind of say it to sound cool. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, and the thing is that job has changed substantially, and there's a lot of different ways to do it. I mean, post hip hop, what a hip hop producer did in the in the 80s versus what George Martin did in the 60s or whatever is completely different in terms of the way that you conceptualize a record. So production though is kind of like you just have to figure it out. You just have to figure out how to make the record work, right? So that could be anything from, like in some cases, it is as simple as stepping back and pressing record and making sure everything's tuned. It could also be, playing everything on the song, and I've seen producers do that. So it really depends. And so it's this, like I said, it's this kind of vague thing. It's hard to even describe sometimes. But for us, what we generally, because we write.
Are you sure you want to know? Because when you find out how hot dogs are made, you don't want to eat a hot dog anymore.
No,
I wanted to know.
So for us, because we all kind of, when you listen, if you ever hear any of our demos, they're fairly complete, they're fairly produced. So what does a producer do? What does a Neil do? It really comes down to the fine details of he'll go into does this, are we 100% sure on this key? Are we 100% sure on this tempo?
Is the Postmate here yet?
Yes, exactly. No,
It's true though.
that is true.
Someone has to keep track
What
of
are we
all
having for lunch?
the orders.
Absolutely. And in terms of a Fall Out Boy perspective then, like from you've worked on many albums, you made many albums, right? What makes a great producer, do you think? If there was one thing, if there's people out here right now who are thinking of making music and they may want to get into production.
Yeah. That's why I talk about it, because I think it's an amazing job, and a lot of people don't really know or understand what it is, because I feel like people don't talk about it very much. It's kind of this weird mystery gig. I think for us, sorry, I missed the question.
Just what makes a great producer?
What makes a great producer?
Yeah.
I think what makes a great producer is knowing how to actualize the song, and sometimes that's going to mean sometimes it's going to be very heavy-handed, and sometimes it's going to not be at all. To give an example of Neil, on this record, he was, I would say, fairly light. I can't think of too many songs that changed dramatically, but a great example is Sugar, when we did Sugar Going Down with him, all those years ago. So I came in with that song and it was completed. It was completed front to back with a completely different verse. So all the sections, it had the same intro and the same pre-chorus and the same chorus, but the verse section was completely different. And he goes, I think we have to talk about that. I think we have to do something different there. That was quite a big deal. That was quite a lot of work.
It's never good when they want to talk about the verse.
Yeah, never good. That's not a good sign. But then we did a song, Nobody Puts Baby in the Corner. That was, that song he really barely touched. It was more, he just wanted, it was like ironing out, he wanted to make sure that the kick and snare pattern, what the pattern of the drums were doing was consistent and was consistent with the vocal. So instead of just kind of feeling it out, it was like, no, what's the part, right? So, to give just an example of how different it can be, that's the same album, but on one song it was pretty light. On another song it was, unrecognizably different.
I think it's just someone who can clue in on what makes a band magical and kind of pull those performances out of them, whether it's, the entire song, whether it's like specific, the way you play drums or guitar or
it's
solos,
really,
all those things, like how you put it together to make the cake.
Are you kind of saying like encouraging potential or encouraging something that you see and kind of pushing and guiding down a certain
helping
path?
somebody get do their best, basically, and whatever that looks like. It's a very difficult job to figure out because a lot of young producers will just overdo everything and like kind of do too much. I have a good producer friend of mine said to me one time that that's his biggest regret, was that his first couple records he just did too much and just didn't let the band really do their thing, because he felt like if he ever sat back, he wasn't producing, he wasn't working hard enough. And I feel like it takes somebody like Neil is very, very amazingly good at what's the word I'm looking for, at picking and choosing when to show. There are some songs he literally just presses record. There are some songs where we will spend months on a syllable.
Helping and guiding someone to be their best. Really, then we're all producers in this room because we all do. We're all producers.
Like that.
Yeah.
We'll make sure everyone gets credits.
Yes. Yes. We're rich. Yay!
When it's spread out, it's small at the end of the day. But
Yay!
I got my filling. It's fine.
Donna, are you here? Hi, Donna. Thank you for your question. I like this question. Donna says, what is your favourite / best video that you've had fun filming or making?
I'll tell you the one that wasn't a lot of fun to make.
That wasn't the question. I'm with you.
I'll tell you, we shot this string of videos. We decided that shooting a video for every song on and I'll tell you,
it's not.
I'm going to tell you that 9 months in, when you're sitting on dry, caked, fake blood on the clothes that haven't been washed once, you're starting to wonder about your life.
I'm surprised you went and put the prosthetics on this time around.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't help myself.
What is it like wearing prosthetics? Many of us will never go through that situation. What is that like?
Spirit goes.
Jim Carrey went through like torture training.
Yes.
On the Grinch because it was so brutal.
In order to have the prosthetics on every single day.
I think it's like if you kept an outfit on when you were 1 year old and then you were 18 years old and you were still wearing the outfit. That's like what it feels like on your face.
Oh, so you kind of shed it like a snake afterwards.
Yeah, and it's like just doesn't really come off.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes some skin with it. It's great.
I feel sorry for the guy. Has anyone watched The Last of Us? Yeah. We're watching.
He hasn't seen the last episode, so we got.
Okay, no, we're not spoiling anything. Don't worry, we're not saying anything. But I
just watch the fucking episodes and you can talk about it.
I feel sorry for the zombies in that. I mean, that is a whole nother level.
We didn't really answer the question.
No,
a
you
fun video to do. We have a new video that's not out yet. That was very fun to do.
Blast.
Very fun, very funny, and we hope you guys are gonna like it.
Are you guys gonna like it?
You haven't seen it. You're under no obligation to like it, but if you do, that would be great.
I can say anything to these guys, they just cheer it. I told you. Danielle, are you here? Hi Danielle, back at the bar. You grab me a drink whilst you're there. Thank you. Danielle says, what's the best advice you can give on overcoming fears about making music?
That is a great question.
Did you guys have any, like right at the start, do you have any kind of points of fears of making music? Or
I
anything
am
like that?
still. When the
Is it kind
band's
of like imposter syndrome type thing, or?
oh my goodness, yeah.
Really?
That's
Lay down, Patrick. We'll talk about it.
no, it's it never really stops. You never really think you're good enough. That's actually probably the biggest lesson I would say is put your stuff out there. You think your idea is terrible, and you will never not think that. There's never going to be the point where where you sit back and go, that was great. It doesn't happen for some reason. What happens is if you surround yourself with other people that you respect that are smart, they go, hey, that thing's great. And you go, really? Yeah, I know that one. And we all do it to each other. Pete does it to me, I do it to Pete, where he'll write something and it'll be like, I don't like that phrase. And I'm like, no, that's genius. Let's put it in the song, And it's part of the give and take of being in a band. That's what's good about it is having somebody else to who doesn't have. They have the imposter syndrome too, but in a different place.
I feel like I have to say on this particular new record that is coming out, we talked a lot about the lyrics and I personally have all kinds of just insane fears every day about not existing and how everyone you love turns to dust and all this fucking shit one day and just all this. But Patrick and my friends and my therapist and everyone's like, put it into the fucking lyrics. And I'm a little worried because I feel like it's not relatable, but maybe it is. But I'm very nervous about the lyrics to this album and excited for you guys to hear it, but pretty fearful about it. Not connected.
Why? Oh yeah, go on. Yeah, please. Are you being a bit more vulnerable on this album?
I think just going to places that really personally are terrifying to me, and it feels just weird, it's maybe you should just talk about this with your therapist, but the therapist is talk about it with the fucking lyrics.
Art is her.
These guys are your therapists.
Yeah, that's probably true, actually. Honestly.
Patrick, do you have something else to say, or are you okay?
It's fine.
Okay. Just want to double check. Kelly, are you here? Oh, hi Kelly. How are you? Good. Thank you for your question. Kelly says, what's the main... Oh no, Kelly, why don't you ask it? You're right there. Oh, is it? Oh, it might be a different Kelly. Okay. I'll put it to the guys. What's the main...
You're getting credit. We're giving you credit.
Give me a thumbs up if this is your question. What's the main difference when you play a small show versus a stadium? Okay, no, it wasn't Kelly. Oh, that's this Kelly over here. Hi, Kelly. Big shows versus small shows, what are the differences? What do you prefer?
They're just both so different. I guess the fun of the big show is you can ask somebody for a flamethrower on your bass and it's possible. and it's the biggest possible incarnation of the show. But I think that the small shows are fun because you can road test new songs and you can play old songs that it's just trying to make the small show feel more expansive and the big show feel more intimate.
Why did you not have a flamethrower at a small show?
It would have taken me out.
This is the attitude I need on my team.
I like my
There's
eyebrows.
some very bad history.
I'll be your flamethrower, Pete.
That's the reason you
We
can't.
wouldn't have eyebrows.
Greg White tried that, it didn't work out.
Yeah, I didn't think that. That's
Okay, so basically big shows flamethrowers, little shows no flamethrowers.
Just
one smoke
but you can sort of feel the sweat and heat of everyone else.
Yeah, stage dive and fun, you know.
Yeah, you feel the intimacy a bit more. Nice. Okay, sorry if
You
I...
could do like a late night show. Have you ever thought about it? The lead back that you did just now was very like, my guest is so fucking entertaining. Why do I have to tell all the jokes though?
Here,
If they're so fucking funny, why am I telling all the jokes?
I'm gonna need you to record that again, what you just said. Something about being good at being a late night show.
We've
I
got
was
it.
saying
It's
like
okay.
me and you
we'll
and
say
You've got it? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Make sure you send it out. Okay, apologies if I don't pronounce your name correctly. Afarin? Was that right? Did I do that right? Hey, let's go! Hi, Noah is asking, which song took the longest to complete on this new album? Was it on, oh, you haven't specified, is it the new album or in general? On this new album, okay.
That's a good question. I think technically, in terms of adjusting it and changing it and, you know, poking and prodding it and, you know, whatever, totally messing with it, probably this song, Heaven, Iowa. We spent, we spent a long, this is the truth, I hated that song. I wrote it, and I played, and I sent it to people. This is back to the question earlier. I send him everything because I don't, you know, because I don't like any of it. So, but I was like, I don't believe in this one. I don't like it. And really far into the production, I was like,
Really pumped me up to hear this song.
I'm getting there, man. But
I got an elevator pitch for you. It's a fucking terrible song. I hate it. No, let me know what you think.
We'll
really
put it out
far-
as
By
far.
the way, this exact type of anecdote is why I didn't talk on stage for like 20 years. Remember that? Remember that? So this is true. Sorry, it's a side
Happened to
tangent.
us all being producers, Pete.
So this is a side tangent, but very true. We were playing a show with this band, Killing Tree, and I was the only one that had a microphone, naturally. And so I go, oh, here's a new song, you know. I don't know, I said something silly like, it took me like 5 minutes to write. I was like being self-deprecating or something, and Pete was like, well, that's the last time you're talking.
That is not actually what happened. You did the Harry Carey
That was
one.
the next show.
Oh, the Harry Carey one was
That was
the
the
first.
end of the line. So then there was another show where, because I am wanted to do impersonations once in a while, and there's a guy from an old broadcaster in Chicago named Harry Carey, and I just did this Harry Carey impression, and a few people laughed, and I was like, oh yeah, and I kept doing it. Now the thing is, this probably lasts.
I'm doing this impression until everybody stops laughing.
You're gonna like it. No, but so I kept doing it, and it was probably only about a minute. It felt like 30.
That's a long time.
And so whatever. Anyway, the song that took the longest was the song Heaven, Iowa. We've been working on it, and I was unsure of it. And every day we would go into the studio, I would ask Joe to, you know, lay any ideas he had on the verse, you know, any, you know, atmospheric guitar or synthesizer or something. I would lay down all these ideas, and then there was this moment, we recorded at a studio in Seattle, and there was this weird synthesizer that I had, and somehow that was it. Like I landed that, and then the whole thing came together, and now it's one of my favorite songs on the record. But there's some moments in there where it's like just my voice and some other things. It's not. There's some sparse moments, and I don't like that a lot. I tend to not like, you know. I don't know. It's like hearing your voice in an answering machine.
Ask them if they like it.
We love
God bless the magic synthesizer.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great. Yeah.
Okay, we have 5 minutes. There's all kind of like quite a few questions left. So, are you guys cool to like kind of speed run?
Yeah, speed run.
Yeah, we're good for that? Okay. Joanne, make some noise quickly. Joanne says, why are you treating us so well here in the UK?
We missed you.
Elena says, what is your favourite song you've ever written and why?
Quick.
My favorite song is whatever your personal individual favorite song is.
West Coast.
We
Slow
we had an AI chat earlier. You sounded like an AI. Yeah, so we just pressed the button. Megan, what was the emotional impact felt in creating an album during a pandemic? Maybe take your time on that one.
It was very difficult. It was very difficult to do just practically. But I think we were so excited to get in. You know, by the end of it, when we could actually get in the room together, that was like, you know, it was great.
Did you hug, kiss, cry?
One of us.
I'll leave you guys to decide. Jody says, what's been your favourite part of putting the latest album together? Kissing.
Well, I was going to say the crying. No, I mean, getting to work with Neil Abron again, and all four of us are more, you know, mature musicians now. So we actually got to benefit from working with him. It wasn't like, you know, for, you know, little maniacs.
Stuart says, let's take things way back. Where was your first gig? Oh, Stuart didn't say that first bit. I added that bit on to make it sound cool. Stuart says, where was your first ever gig?
And that's producing.
Hey! We've come full circle.
It was at DePaul University in the cafeteria.
It was legendary. Everyone was there. That was there. Was like, you'll be doing this in stadiums in 20 years in London.
We played 3 songs very, very badly.
Very out of tune.
And
People were like, you know, you're not being paid for this show, right?
there was this other band there that I liked a lot, and we were having a conversation about what our name should be. And I don't remember what the other name was, but someone said, "What do you think of that name?" And they're like, "We think you suck."
I think that guy also predicted that you'd be on stage at a Q&A with a rather handsome host as well.
He did, that's true.
Yeah.
Where is that guy now? Where is he now?
I heard that. We might go on and do late night TV at one point. Okay. Ian, who would you most want to collaborate with?
Ourselves.
I want to say that a feature that I really wanted on this album was Kid Cudi. We didn't end up making it happen, but I really would like that to happen in the future because I think that Patrick and him would sound awesome together, and we have similar, I don't know, vibes.
What stage did you get to with that? Were you at the talking stage? Were you at the hang stage? First base, second base?
He was at my house. He was at my house a couple of years ago, and he was playing the guitar, and he was like, "We should do some songs together." And I texted him like 100 times this year, and on one of them he was just like, "I'm just a little too busy," and I wasn't quite sure. But then I saw he had like an HBO show and a clothing line, and you know, like all this stuff. And so I was like, maybe he is too busy, or maybe he ghosted me.
He was busy, don't worry. He was busy. Camilla says, what is the song that you are most tired of playing but won't cut it out of the show?
Oh, look, she's got the phone up. Hold on, we gotta attach the lie detector.
We've got a minute left.
Minute? That's a terrible minute. I don't want that to be.
Okay, well, I can extend it if you want to. But...
I mean, for me, it's all the mechanics. Like, I don't like singing some of the really high ones. It's just physically difficult to do. So like, I don't know.
So we close with this punk song from one of our earlier albums that's like pretty chaotic. And there are some places where we're about to play it, and I look out, and there's like a kind of a fancy vibe, where people like don't kind of know what's going on. They're like, I like the one song, Centuries. I like their other song, I Write Sins.
Why didn't they play it?
And before we start this song, I'm like, oh God, this is gonna be bad.
Okay, Rebecca, what is your songwriting process?
Okay, glad I didn't answer that in the production question. Typically, people send me lyrics, and I will kind of mine them and kind of just. So, I hate starting sentences this way. I feel like I've been talking like this all month, but it becomes really relevant. So I have ADHD, and I can't. So, and for those of you that have it, I know you know the experience. I can't control what I focus on. Right? And so it's very difficult for me to read. It's very difficult for me to like read a paragraph in a book or something like that. You'll get to a phrase and your brain just picks that phrase and is like, that's what we're thinking about. And you know, it goes off and it blossoms into this whole thing, and your eyes are looking at other words, but you're not there. And what happens when I read Pete's lyrics is that like it's like there's rhythm in it, and instantly and once there's rhythm, it becomes music, and I start to hear melody, and so I'll just read kind of passively, and a song kind of happens as I'm reading his lyrics, and that's kind of always been the thing, is that it starts, you know, I can just kind of read it, and a song is there, you know. So that's really how a lot of our songs start. So I don't know how the lyrics start though.
This is a story for another day. They didn't ask that question, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 3 more left, and we
Yeah,
are
let's
short of
keep
time,
going.
so I want to make sure
Respect
everyone gets asked. Alison says, which song / media that you've made outside of Fall Out Boy are you each most proud of?
Black cards.
Andy, proud of that batch of cupcakes you made the other day?
Andy is very quiet about being in like 30 bands. All of them are shredders.
I'm proud of all of it.
That's
They're
because
good.
his favourite is Fall Out Boy.
Probably.
So I heard some love for soul punk, which is I want to say though that I've really been so grateful to get to be scoring. I've been working in film scores and TV scores for the past like 9 years, and that's really fun. It's just a completely different job. It's one of those ones where, you know, if you meet somebody at a party and they don't know of the band or anything, they ask what, you know, oh, what are you doing? You're like, oh, I write music for movies, and they just glaze over and do not care at all. It's and I kind of like that. You know? There's no follow-up questions. But I did a horror movie, Black Friday, and I really loved there's a few cues in there that was just really fun to get to have an orchestra, you know, squeal like that for a horror movie.
I got a quick side question. Who'd win in a fight, you or Hans Zimmer?
Yeah!
He's old.
Well, you know, I mean, Hans Zimmer is
Music fight, obviously.
music. Hans, I actually, this is some fun trivia. I wrote a song with
He's
Hans.
not answering the question.
I wrote a song with Hans that never happened. We worked on a song for a movie, like pitched a song for a movie one time. But he's great, and he would take me in a fight.
Pete, anything? What was the last question? Can't remember. We're going to move on.
What were you proud
Here we
of?
go.
Oh, yeah, what are you proud of outside of Fall Out Boy? Thank you.
Producing.
I don't know, I'm proud of a lot of stuff. I guess I'm most proud of the bands on my record label because it's fun. I don't know.
What's your record label now?
What's the name? Oh, now it's DCD2. And there's like some fun bands on it, some of you guys know maybe, and some that you don't know. And it's fun to work with artists on the other side and take them under your wing, and then you can kind of be like a proud dad when they take off, and you know, it's cool. It's very cool. We can move on to the next question.
Yeah, of course. The tantrums aren't great. But Jennifer is asking, what's your favourite lyrics off of the new album?
So I love this song, What a Time to Be Alive. The lyrics kind of made the entire song to me because they're so tremendously bleak. It is just some of the bleakest stuff that Pete's ever written. And the funny thing is, when you hear it, there's a couple lyrics at the end that were written post-pandemic, but almost the entire song was completed before pandemic. And it's kind of hard to believe that when you see them. It was like it was written from this place of like, God, I mean, how much worse could it get? You know? But yeah, for me, that song like made the record to me.
I like this one we did called Baby Annihilation.
Yes.
Yeah, just in the way that like I know that sometimes people, you know, like I like bands and directors and I'm like, do the old thing, and they're like, I can't do the old thing because like I'm different now and it would sound weird and you hate it. And so it's fun when you find moments where you can kind of do a version of the old thing. So it's like this thing that could have existed on Infinity on High, but it's like a new version of it. And then like I saw some reviewer was like, and it's got such a weird name, but like it ends with the phrase like a little annihilation, and so we just started calling it like, it was called Little Annihilation, so we started calling it Baby Annihilation, and now people think it's like about annihilated babies. Oops.
Right. So final question for the boys, and afterwards you're going to get to hear the whole album in full. Reverberating around this brilliant, legendary venue. A reminder, no recording equipment. Put it away, otherwise it will be, I don't know, something will happen probably. So stick around and of course listen to that if you would like to. Final question from Megumi, I hope I'm saying that right. Which song is difficult to play?
At first, it wasn't actually that difficult. It was funny. It was kind of funny. I was scared of it. I was like, "Oh, this is going to be difficult," and then it kind of worked out pretty well. No, I'd say the most difficult to play. Truthfully, there was a song. A lot of the stuff on Mania was very, very hard to play. Young and Menace was a nightmare.
That makes a lot of sense.
For me, like every once in a while, Patrick writes a song, and I'm like, he just keeps picking all these random notes. It like doesn't repeat, and it makes my brain hurt. Like, and so what a catch, Donnie! Like it just is like.
Oh yeah, that is
very hard for
that
my
is
little
very
brain.
hard. That is very hard.
Well, thank you very much, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for Andy, Patrick, and Pete for our boys!
Can I say, really quick, one thing. First,
In England, I like the caveat there because we did
the English breakfast with the PB.
Yeah, we did that one.
I will say that our host right here is fantastic. We've gotten to hang out 3 times or 4 times, and I think you're awesome, and I think that what you're doing at BBC is awesome, and hopefully you guys are listening. And you know me, I wouldn't say something if I don't genuinely think that. And I wouldn't go down like some crazy sofa thing if I didn't think it was like a lot of fun to hang out with you.
You look like a damn fine cup of coffee.
And a few words.
I think that's the thank you and good night.
But I want to say thank you guys very much for allowing us to do this and to keep going around and playing shows. It really means a lot, and it's really special to share this album with you.